What is going on, guys? Welcome to a special edition of Ringside Chatter, Playoff Edition. I am your host, that guy's Shadow. I am joined by the biggest Stars fan I know, and that is Jamey, and the man that's been chewing his nails for the better part of a week, Scalz.
Dude, stress. It's fucking crazy. Touch on tonight, right, guys?
Yeah, I think so. Other than myself, yeah, something we want to touch on.
I think besides just one last thing, how does everyone feel about Wyatt Johnson making himself a star in these playoffs?
Dude was a star before the playoffs.
Right, but solidifying himself as he's a dog.
One playoff run doesn't solidify yourself. So
he's making himself a household name. I'll give him that.
But it'll only be that star if he can continue it.
He just turned 21.
I know. He's had a great run. But he needs to do it more than once to be a star.
Scalz is just an asshole.
No, I'm being truthful. Lafreniere has had a great second half of the regular season, and he's had a good playoffs. He's getting to be more well known throughout the league. He's proven.
Can you remind me how Laff ended up with the Rangers again?
They won the lottery.
Oh, with that extremely heavy ball. That's right.
Of course, because my team won the lottery, there's a conspiracy. But there's not a conspiracy when Edmonton wins it 4 fucking years in a row.
Yeah, but now that Edmonton won it 4 years in a row, there's a whole new fucking rule because of it.
Yeah, you can't win the lottery twice in 5 years. You can only win it once within a 5-year period.
Conspiracy aside, that ball was heavy. We all heard it and seen it.
Also, NHL in Utah. Thoughts?
It needs to be the Yetis or the Swarm.
I like the Yetis.
I like the Yetis too.
I think Yetis is cool.
I would buy a T-shirt. I wouldn't buy a jersey, but I'd buy a T-shirt with that logo.
I'd buy a T-shirt. I think the NHL being in Utah, that's a good choice. That's a good market for sports.
I mean, they could call them the Utah. Hang on, I got a picture for this. Scalz, I want to send it to you.
Great.
Go ahead and talk. I'm still here. Finish your sentence.
No, the Smiths and that whole investment group, they're doing a great job with the Jazz. So only to continue that with, this team in Utah.
When I heard Ryan Smith, I was thinking the legendary hockey player from Canada, Ryan Smith, was buying a franchise. I was very mistaken. But if you're not going to go with the Swarm or the Yetis, you got to go with the Utah Mormons.
Oh my!
And I got the perfect logo for you. The Kachina Mormon jersey. We're here for it. With Arizona / Phoenix leaving the league for at least 5 years, if they come back or not, I don't know. But I am sad to see the Kachina jersey go. That was one of the nicest jerseys in the NHL.
Yeah. So I mean, I know there was really bad reputation with ownership in Phoenix and everything like that. How would you feel if the funds were raised and the Coyotes were back in Phoenix as an expansion?
I say if the NHL allows it to happen and they do come back, because there is that rule in place. If the NHL comes back to Phoenix / Arizona, and I say it like that because we don't know if they're going to go back to the city of Phoenix or it's just going to be an Arizona team. But
right.
If they allow it, they have to say, okay, you have 5 years to prove that revenue can stick. And if it doesn't, you're just done.
Yeah.
You give them a 5-year window that you're allowing them to have now to redo everything. But they have to keep that 5 years. They have to show that they can keep a certain threshold. And if they can't do it, you have to move them. And that's just done. The experiment's over.
But where would you move them then?
You just default. You just relegate them. You don't move them anywhere. You just relegate them out.
No,
Yeah.
you move them.
Because I know the league is looking to expand again to more teams,
Yeah,
to at
and
least
that's
two more teams.
so. Let's talk about that. So let's say Arizona comes back. That'd be the 33rd team. So they need one more fucking city.
Atlanta.
No, that's already failed twice.
It's failed twice.
Atlanta in the 80s and the 2000s. Gone.
Yeah. So I was also thinking, would Kansas City be a good spot?
They've been there, failed once. They moved to Jersey and Hartford.
But did they really fail there, or was it just the timing?
Just kind of with the success that the Chiefs are on, and with kind of how it's grown.
The Royals are a great organization right
Yeah.
now.
It's turned into a good sports town at the moment.
Listen, I love you
Sports
guys
City.
being American and all, but if they're gonna
I know
expand,
you want Quebec City. I understand.
No, I don't even care about Quebec City. You could put a team in Saskatchewan, either in Regina or Saskatoon. It's plenty big enough that you could support an NHL franchise. You don't want to go there, fine. Go to one of the biggest hockey player meccas per capita in Canada. Go to Nova Scotia, play out of Halifax. Give it a maritime team. You know what I mean? You would have, by the time this happens, you got to assume Crosby's on pretty much his way completely out the door. So you may have Crosby be the owner of this franchise heading to Halifax, with McKinnon going in on half. You know what I mean? Like, obviously that's a pipe dream, but that's just my thinking on that. Like,
Right.
more or less, Crosby would be at the part of the career where, okay, I'm done, I'm retiring. Let's put a franchise in Halifax. I don't want to see another franchise in Ontario because we have two. I don't want to see another one in Quebec because it failed there already.
Right.
I know it was a long time ago. I don't remember the reason that it failed.
Financials.
Was that because of the ownership, or because there was no success there from the team gaining?
There was no success there, the team gaining traction because of the Montreal Canadian market. Theoretically, you could put another team in Ontario and it would succeed. Because the Leafs being as expensive as they are, and Ottawa nobody cares to go to, you could put a team in Hamilton, you could put it in Windsor, you could put it in Niagara, you could London even. I mean, they call London the little NHL as it is. So you could put another franchise within Ontario and it would work. But I'd rather see a team in like Saskatchewan or, the Maritimes. Or if you really want to do it, either Kansas City or Hartford. Hartford failed because ESPN was a dick.
Hartford would be nice. Bring back the Whalers.
But that's the only reason Hartford failed is because of the fucking ESPN. When they started, the NHL pulled them after ESPN was like, oh, we're not going to cover certain games.
Yeah.
So,
I think, like Kansas City is a hop in place right now. So
I think Kansas City would actually be a good market.
yeah.
what were they called?
It would gain traction, especially from a lot of the Midwest, kind of the in between the Utah, Dallas, and St. Louis fan bases, even a little bit from like around Nashville.
Mm-hmm. It was I believe it was the Kansas City Monarchs.
Yes, it was the Monarchs, and just the radius that you have there, like it would do good.
Well, I mean, theoretically, you have 4 fucking teams in the NHL in New York, right? I know Jersey's not a part of New York, but you have 4 teams in a very small metropolitan area. Or at least 3.
3.
Buffalo's
because
up north.
Buffalo's still a bit of ways.
Yeah.
But yes, you have 3 within the small metropolitan area.
Yeah, I mean, hockey can breathe and succeed anywhere given the right. I mean, Vegas proves that.
Yeah.
As much as we all rag on Vegas, Vegas proves that.
Oh yeah, and they've turned into a fantastic sports market.
It was the Kansas City Scouts. and they were only there for 2 years before they moved to Colorado.
Which they became the Rockies then?
Colorado Rockies, and then it became the New Jersey Devils.
Fun fact for you, Don Cherry coached the Colorado Rockies after he turned down a job with Toronto Maple Leafs.
Interesting.
He turned down a job with the Toronto Maple Leafs to take on the new franchise of the Colorado Rockies, instantly regretting that decision because I think the Leafs went on to win 3 cups in that 5-year span. And the Colorado Rockies folded.
Say, everyone talks like I'm really ignorant to this. So I know there's the original 6 franchises that were in the NHL. I know Toronto's one. I think the Rangers are one.
Rangers, Toronto, Montreal,
Boston.
Chicago,
and Detroit.
Okay.
Now, there is also a lot of obscured history there, too, because while those are the official original 6, there are other teams that were technically in that era.
Mm-hmm.
And for a very long time, and to this day, technically speaking, this rule has never changed. The Stanley Cup is still a Challenge Cup. That rule still exists, but for whatever, I don't know, there's a loophole to it that the NHL has rights to it.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, sorry, go ahead.
Like I've been doing a little bit of research here and there, like Dallas, like they were Minnesota and they were the North Stars, back in the 60s, 70s.
80, no, even up to the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you just look at the Mighty Duck movies.
Mm-hmm. He had that North Stars cap.
Yeah, Winnipeg went from the Winnipeg Jets to the Arizona Coyotes. And then the Atlanta Thrashers became the Winnipeg Jets of today's incarnation of. The Calgary Flames were the Atlanta Flames. There's your both failed franchises in Atlanta. New Jersey was Kansas City at one point.
Colorado, New Jersey.
Colorado was Jersey as well.
Yeah. Kansas City, Colorado, New Jersey.
Yeah. Quebec Nordiques became the Colorado Avalanche. Yeah, those are the only 2 franchises that have moved out of Canada. Yeah. In 1907, the Vancouver Millionaires won the Stanley Cup. But that's why I said there's a lot of obscure history with the original 6, because there are other teams like the Montreal Maroons and like different little, like up north in Ontario, there's a team that won the Stanley Cup in 1911. It's called the Kenora Thistles. Like, it's really weird. The Stanley Cup only started being presented in the NHL in 1917. I believe. Or 1927. I don't know. Either way, it was very early on in the 1900s where the Stanley Cup was the NHL property.
Yeah.
Just like the Leafs. That's another thing that pisses people off. Technically, the Toronto Maple Leafs aren't an original 6 team, but they are. Because they were the Toronto Arenas. They were the Toronto St. Pats.
Mm-hmm. They have the history behind it, but it wasn't. Labeled.
That's what it is. Technically, the Leafs are not an original 6, but the city is.
Yeah.
Detroit wasn't an original 6 either. They went by many names too.
Well, even if it went by many names, but it's the same franchise.
The lineage is there.
Yeah.
Chicago's never changed their name.
It's kind of like,
I think, didn't they, Scalz? They haven't always been the Rangers.
I believe they have, but let me make sure.
I think the Bruins are not. I think it might be Boston, and New York and Chicago that are the only 3 that haven't changed. Oh, and Montreal. No, Montreal changed too because they were the Habitants, and now they're just the Montreal Canadiens. I don't know. That's where the nickname the Habs comes from, because they were the Habitants. They weren't the Canadians.
Yeah, they were nicknamed Texas Rangers because of the person who founded the team in 1926, but they were always the New York Rangers.
Well, I mean, that's just like the New York Knicks. They were called the Knickerbockers, right, for a long time.
Right, it was the
Yep.
Knickerbockers, then they shortened it to the Knicks.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool history behind stuff like that, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're still live, so that's cool.
Hockey Twitter is almost as bad as wrestling Twitter. Especially when the Leafs are involved.
Oh, it's bad.
It's horrible.
I don't know if you've seen my
I
tweet
noticed
the
that
other
the
night.
last 2 years.
I don't know if you've seen my tweet the other night, but I am absolutely worried for Easton Cowan to become a Leaf.
Yeah, I did see that. And I understand it because the fan base would chew him and swallow him. I mean, chew him and spit him out, dude.
Like, that's why I'm never like, yeah, I'm pissed with Marner, but like, I still have that soft spot because I've watched him since fucking junior hockey.
Yeah.
Same with Kadri. And like, as much as I hate the guy sometimes, Kachuk, Domi.
Say was Marner on that 2019 Calder Cup team that Keith coached?
No, he was on the Leafs.
Okay.
But Liljegren was on that 2019 team. Marchment, who plays for you, was on that cup team.
Mm-hmm. Marchman's a dog.
Guy's an asshole.
That's what I like about him. He'll go out there and just shove you.
I have to find my binder and I'll send you the picture. But I have a picture of him with the Calder Cup because I got them all to sign when I went to a media event the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And I got all the guys that were still there to sign for me. And I printed off their pictures with the cup and everything. This motherfucker signs his name right in the cup where I can barely read his fucking name.
Ah.
I'm like, this fucking guy.
All right. I think we're going to get on out of here for the night, guys.
All right.
Where can we
Probably
find
a
you?
good idea.
Jamie, where can we find you?
You can find me on my socials at Jamie Rose X. You can find me on the X at Jamie Rose X, where me and your boy Shadow are just chatting and shooting it about hockey and other stuff that really doesn't even matter. You can find me on the network on Friday Night Review, just kind of whenever it fits in, like just whenever. And I guess here sometimes too, making the Rinkside Chatter debut. This is great, and I just want to thank you guys.
Crazy. Jamie's about to go crazy. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Don't do that to me.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Let's go.
What do I mean?
Well, while
Don't
Jamie
do that to
celebrates the Dallas Stars tying the game, you can find me on X causing shit with Bruins fans and every bit of fans that I possibly can. Other than that, I'm just here, man. I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
I am Scalz. We are all enjoying these playoff season for the NHL.
Let's
it is
go.
amazing. Jamie just got to see his team score to tie up the game in the third period. Hopefully this game does not go into OT because I do not want to stay up for it. I am excited to see what the Rangers do next round. Make sure you guys come back. Check us out. We might do another video after the round, the conference finals are over, doing a Stanley Cup preview. So make sure you come on back, check us out. We'll hope to see you again soon. Have a great evening.